also friends, in the southern hemisphere also, the area which is between 23.5 degrees southern latitude and 66.5 degrees southern latitude, it is called as temperate zone. Here these regions can receive the moderate temperature. And finally, here the regions which are near the poles at 90 degrees north pole and 90 degrees south pole, these regions receive less temperature. Here the temperature would be at minus degrees at this north pole and south pole. Here the region which is between 66.5 degrees north and 0 degrees equator, and in the southern hemisphere 66.5 degrees south and 0 degrees 90 degrees south pole, these regions are called as frigid zones. Here there is a snowfall, and the regions which are in frigid zone should be covered totally with snow. And friends, now another use is to know the direction of a place. With the help of these latitudes and longitudes, we can know the direction, in which direction we should go to reach a particular place. And friends, another one is to know the time. Friends, here to know the time. Friends, it takes 4 minutes of time from sun's position to move 1 degree of longitude, and this means that the time is different between each degree of longitude. And friends, here is an example. When sun is directly overhead on 10 degrees eastern longitude, here the local time is 12 noon. And friends, here at anti-meridian 9 degrees eastern longitude, the time will be 11:56 am. And at post meridian 11 degrees eastern longitude, the time will be 12:04 pm. And friends, this can cause a lot of confusion to us. So friends, our world is divided into 24 time zones. Our world is divided into 24 time zones, starting from our world is divided into 24 time zones, starting from 0 degree longitude to going east and going west. Totally there are 24 time zones. And friends, the width of each time zone is 15 degree of longitude. And friends, let us see these time zones in the PowerPoint presentation. Here, this is the world. Here, our world is totally divided into 24 time zones, from this 0 degree longitude to going east and going west. And the distance between one time zone and the next is, the width of one time zone is 15 degree of longitudes. And friends, the difference between one time zone and the next is 60 minutes, 1 hour. Friends, here 15 degree of longitude into 4 minutes per degree longitude is equal to 60 minutes. Friends, the difference between one time zone and the next is 1 hour. And here, friends, here when time is 12 noon in a day Monday at 0 degree longitude, and at opposite longitude anti-meridian, the time would be 12 midnight, and it is just to the west of 180 degrees. Here the Tuesday is just beginning and Monday is just ending. And friends, so every country is divided into more than one time zone with less than 1 hour time division. And here, for example, if we take India, India is divided into 2.5 hour time zones, and the difference between eastern and here the difference between eastern and western parts of India is 2.5 hours. And for here it can cause a lot of confusion to know the calculation of times. And friends, when we are traveling from Greenwich meridian to when we are traveling from this Greenwich meridian to eastwards, you should add 4 minutes of time per each degree as you cross every degree of longitude. And when you are traveling from west to east to west from prime meridian, you should subtract 4 minutes of time per each degree of longitude as you cross every longitude. And friends, this is referred as EGA. EGA means east gain add, and WLS means west loss subtract. And friends, here so many countries have more than 1 and 2 time zones, so keeping in time is more complex. For the countries which is spanned with large number of longitudes, they may divide their country into more convenient time zones, but with the difference between 1 hour between one latitude and one time zone and the next. And friends, here is another example for knowing the location of weather conditions. And friends, for example, when weather forecasters are observing the trackings of hurricanes, they need to note absolute location. They need to know absolute location on the periodic basis to see the path of the storm, and they try to predict the future paths. And here is also another example. In an emergency situation, if you want to, with the help of the latitudes and longitudes, we can locate the places. And in an emergency situation like a plane crash or a boat sinking, you can relay your coordinate of latitude and longitude to assist rescue teams. And when time may be very important, if you are in the middle of an ocean, there are no landmarks to use, so you had better know your latitude and longitude. If you know that in which latitude and longitude you are, then you can save your lives. And friends, now we have learned about the uses of the latitudes and longitudes. And friends, now let us recall what we have learnt in this class. And friends, first we have learnt about the latitudes. Here the latitudes are the horizontal circles and the longitudes are vertical lines. And here longitude is the word derived to us from Latin language longitudo, and Latin word latitudo means here width, and longitudo means length or height. And here we have discussed about our Earth's grid system. And then friends, we have discussed about the special names of the latitudes and about climatic zones and time zones, and how to know the exact location on a map or on a globe with the help of latitudes and longitudes. And friends, we are located the India on a exact map on knowing the exact location of that country. And we have learnt about the differences between the time zones, and our world is divided into 24 time zones, and the difference between one time zone and the next is 1 hour. And friends, here we have given some examples for the uses of these latitudes. For example, there is a war is going on between two countries, and one country want to collapse the building of another country people, but without making any harm to the hospital. So with the help of using minutes and seconds of latitudes and longitudes, they can collapse, they can strike only that particular building without making any harm to the hospital. And friends, we have learned that the 0-degree equator divides the earth into two equal halves, northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere, and here 0-degree longitude, here longitudes are also called as meridians, and meridians is came to us from the Latin language meridianus, meaning noon. And here for this 0-degree longitude, 180-degree longitude is the directly opposite longitude, and the longitudes which are in eastern hemisphere should be designated with the direction E, and the longitudes which are in western hemisphere should be designated with the direction W. And friends, we have learned that for this 0-degree prime meridian, there is no designation whether it is E or W, and like that similarly on these latitudes, here for this 0-degree latitude also there is. Yes, tell me Swaro, what's your doubt?
Hello, madam.
Hello, what's your doubt?
Hello, madam. Madam, అక్షాంశాలు రేఖాంశాల గురించి చెప్పండి మేడం మళ్ళా. అరే రాయరు.
Okay, I will explain about the latitudes and longitudes. Here the latitudes are the horizontal circles which are running from east-west directions. Friends, let me show on the map. Here the latitudes are the horizontal circles which are running from east-west directions, and the longitudes are the vertical lines which are running from north-south directions. And here the latitude which divides the earth into two equal parts, it is called as equator. It divides the earth into two equal hemispheres, northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. And in the northern hemisphere totally there are 90 latitudes, and there are 90 latitudes in southern hemisphere, and the latitudes which are in northern hemisphere should be designated with direction N, and the latitudes which are in southern hemisphere should be designated with direction S. And we have learnt about the special names of the latitudes: equator, tropic of Cancer, and Arctic Circle, and North Pole, South Pole, Antarctic Circle, and Tropic of Capricorn. These are the special names of the latitudes. And let us come to longitudes. Here the longitudes. Yes, friend, what is your doubt?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. What is your doubt?
I have a doubt.
What is your doubt?
Why the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn are located at 23.5 degrees latitude?
Okay, Swaro. Here these Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn are located in 23.5 degrees north and southern latitude. Here the temperature directly in this Tropic of Cancer, the temperature directly falls in the year that December 22nd, and this Tropic of Cancer, that sun rays directly falls on the date of January 21, and here this region receives very high heat than the other remaining regions. Are you clarified?
Thanks, sir.
Okay. And friends, now we have discussed about the uses of the latitudes and longitudes. There are the 4 uses of latitudes and longitudes, and with the help of these latitudes and longitudes we can apply these uses in our daily life. And the uses are to know the locations. And friends, we have learnt about the time zones, time and longitude. Here we have discussed that there are totally, our world is divided into 24 time zones from Greenwich meridian to going east and western longitudes. Here friends, see here, the distance between one time zone and the next is 15 degree of longitude, and the difference between one time zone and the next is 1 hour. So we can the countries which are in large number of longitudes, they may divide their country into more convenient time zones, but with the distance of 1 hour time zone from 1 hour from one time zone and the next. Thank you one and all for giving this wonderful opportunity for me.